So AFC East, New England 7-3, Miami 5-5. That's where everyone. That's basically it. Buffalo Jets are 3-7. Pittsburgh 6-2, Cincinnati 5-4, Baltimore 4-5, Cleveland 3-6-1. I guess Pittsburgh 6-2.
Wow, Cincy over Baltimore.
Yep.
I don't know that format.
Cincy's, they've just been crumbling.
Houston 6-3, Tennessee 5-4, Colts 4-5, Jacksonville 3-6. I don't think when we went through that division before, we thought Jacksonville would be the last place team. I think we were battling between Titans and Colts.
I think I said Colts would be last.
Yeah.
I think that was a unanimous that we thought Colts would be last.
I think Luck is just we didn't know where he would be, and he's come back as good as he was before he left.
Yeah.
So
it's phenomenal.
Chiefs 9-1, Chargers 7-2, Denver 3-6, Oakland 1-8. Not much to say about that.
Just a 2-horse race. Although I don't see Chargers overtaking the Chiefs.
We'll see.
They'll be the wild card.
So we got another game to play between them two. Redskins 6-3, Dallas is in second at 4-5. So the Redskins are in control of that division right now. Philly also 4-5. Dallas obviously with the tiebreakers since it just won. Chicago 6-3, Minnesota 5-3-1, Green Bay 4-4. Green Bay 4-4-1, Detroit 3-6. So with the exception of Detroit, you've got three teams within essentially a game and a half because of the ties. So that's anyone's division, coming down the stretch.
Never count out Rodgers.
Yep. Then all those three teams too are 1-1 in the division. Chicago's 1-1 in the division. Minnesota has a win and a draw in the division, and Green Bay's 1-1-1 in the division.
That's exactly where they wanted to be.
Yeah. NFC South, New Orleans 8-1, Carolina 6-3, Atlanta 4-5, Tampa Bay 3-6. And then the NFC West, you got the Rams with a huge lead, 9-1. Next one's the Seahawks at 4-5.
It's a big fat if, but if they lose to Green Bay and we beat KC, we already clinched the division. I don't think it's going to happen, as we'll talk about later. But
so as of right now, Oakland's number one pick. So if you look at the conference, you've got basically Kansas City, Pittsburgh, New England, and Houston winning the divisions. You have your wild cards right now being Cincinnati and the Chargers, with Tennessee being the first team not in the playoffs, and then Miami right after that. In the NFC, you've got the Rams, New Orleans, Chicago, and the Redskins winning the division, with your wild cards currently being Carolina and Minnesota, with the Packers, Atlanta. Packers are the first team out, and then you've got Atlanta, Seattle, Dallas, and Philly all at 4-5.
It's a tight race.
So, not a clear race anywhere. I think the only thing that's for sure is that the Rams, Saints, and Chiefs will be in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think those are pretty safe locks at this point.
So, we'll see what happens. All right, so let's go scores for this week coming up, week 11. Thursday night, good game. Packers at the Seahawks. These always seem to be good games over the past couple years. Seattle's favored by 2.5.
is it in?
It's in Seattle. See, I normally would go Seattle because they're very tough to beat at home, but Thursday night games are tough for defenses. Yeah. I think if we went through the Thursday night games and we looked at the scores, I bet you at least one team scored over 30 on Thursday night almost every week. Because you get no time to scheme for them, unless you're looking ahead, basically. You're going to have to play against Rodgers. I think I'm going to go Packers. Upset in Seattle. As tough as it is to play there, the whole 12-man thing, but I think I'm going to go Packers.
I'm going to take Seattle. I like them at home. I think they did have a tough game with LA. Tough divisional loss to take, but I like them at home. I think they get it done.
I'll give Seattle props. I'll take Seattle. They played us really well away. Now they're back at home. Green Bay, man, they have Rodgers. That's all they have.
Yeah,
and if he's not 100%, they lose, which they have been. So I think too much just against them. Taking Seattle.
Cool. Then we got Bengals at the Ravens. This is like a lot. There's a lot of divisional matchups this week. It's like Bengals at the Ravens. This one's a wash. It doesn't even have the odds on here. Yeah, it must just be a wash. So pick them. In Baltimore, the Bengals just got fucking thrashed by the Saints. But then again, so did the Ravens. Like the week before that. So. I'm going to go Ravens at home. They need to beat the Bengals in order to have a chance in the division.
Ravens are at home.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Baltimore. I think their defense will get it done for them at home. Offense will put up enough points to win.
Is AJ Green going to come back?
I don't know. It's a good question.
I like Cincinnati's offense a lot more than I do the Ravens.
It's true, but you like the Ravens defense well. Like,
But Cincinnati doesn't have bad defense. Yeah,
they
that's
gave up 51 points.
how much did the Ravens give up?
I don't know, when they played the Saints,
Yeah.
Ravens gave up 24 to the Saints. They lost 24 to 23.
I'll go Ravens. I'll take Ravens.
Panthers at the Lions. Well, Panthers favored by 4, despite them getting thrashed by Pittsburgh. I'm going Panthers.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Carolina. I don't like Detroit. Got rid of arguably their best receiver, and they're just not making smart decisions. So taking Carolina.
Not as high on them as I was, but I'll take Panthers.
And we've got Cowboys at the Falcons. Both teams are 4 and 5, trying to just figure out who the fuck they are. They won. Both these teams play good one week and then just awful the next week. Cowboys have a good defense.
Is it in Atlanta or?
It's in Atlanta. Atlanta favored by 3.5. I'm gonna go Atlanta.
I surprisingly am gonna go Dallas. I think Zeke looked fucking phenomenal against Philly. And if they can, control the clock, with the ground game, keep Matty Ice, and those receivers off the field, I think Dallas gets it done. Yeah, keep Matty Ice on ice.
You didn't see my tweet?
Oh, I saw it. I was equally as disappointed as I am in person, but I was digitally.
God, that's so tough. I've been high on Atlanta's offense the whole season, and they just throw a dead bomb over in Cleveland. I don't even know what to think of them.
You have to be the only person that just talks about the Browns, and then every time the Browns win, the team that played them is just the worst team ever because they lost the Browns.
Because they're not good. I like them, and I want them to win, but they're not good. You know what? I think the Cowboys for the game. I think it was a fluke. I don't think Wentz is what he was. I'm not gonna take anything away from. Are you kidding me? You know how shitty he's doing this year compared to last year? MVP candidate last year. He ain't nowhere near that this year. I'm gonna say I'm still gonna take Cowboys.
Okay. I was trying to figure out how the fuck Carson Wentz going to go for them to run the Cowboys and Eagles. Then we've got Titans at the Colts. 5 and 4, 4 and 5. Colts need to win to keep pace. Titans need to win to try to catch up to the Texans. Colts are favored by 2 at home. See, normally I wouldn't pick the Titans here on the road, but I'm going to pick them to win just because they should have some momentum, hopefully beating the Patriots for the first time in 12 years.
This one's tough. And the Titans aren't at home, so I'm not even going to pick them. I am going to take the Titans, though. I think they're starting to figure some things out. I think if Mariota can manage the game a little bit, Henry can control the clock a lot like he did against New England, I think they'll get it done.
Well, I wasn't taking the Titans, and then you mentioned Mariota and Derrick Henry.
Well, they're starting quarterback and running back.
Yeah. All right.
We just beat the Patriots with those teams, with those guys. So.
You've also lost a bunch of games with those guys. So. I'll take Colts at home.
All right. Then we've got Texans at the Redskins.
Ooh.
Probably the best game of the early morning.
That's another doozy because Redskins, they like to play. And sometimes
both 6 and 3 at the Redskins. Houston's favored by 3. I'm going to go Texans. I just think they have too much firepower for the Redskins. And you're probably going to have to put up more than 16 to beat them. So
I don't disagree.
And I think they have a better defense than the Bucs also. So
yeah, I'm going to take Houston. I think their defense is solid, and yeah, that offense is looking good. I think Watson's starting to really kind of come into it again. Got to find his rhythm.
And we kind of forget because they only had one game before they won 5, but they did get Demaryius Thomas, who looked good like their first game.
Yep.
To take some pressure off of Wilf's cousin. So
yeah, they got good weapons.
Yeah, I'm taking Texans. I can't figure out the Redskins. And I've never been on board with Alex.
Bucks at the Giants. Giants favored by 1.5. By the way, I forgot to mention this. A reporter asked Odell what his goals were for the rest of the season, and he said make playoffs because it wasn't possible to go 8-8.
It is on that team.
So they're now 2-7. So I guess it's not possible to go 9-7 if they went out.
Oh.
I think they're going to continue the trend. They're going to go 3-7. Get the win this week.
Are you picking Giants?
Giants. They're at home, favored by 1.5.
Over the Bucks. They're at home only for 1.5. Really?
Yep.
I'm taking Fitzmagic. I think he gets it done against the shit ass Giants.
That's just tragic. That's
What's it going to be, though?
that's tough.
We see that bill with the sign that just says magic or tragic on it. Just whenever the Bucks team comes up, he just flips it.
He let me down. He's let me down. And then the next game he's going to throw for 500 yards and 5 touchdowns.
That's why I'm picking him.
Son of a bitch. Where's it at?
In New York. Oh, I guess in New Jersey. That's where they play.
I'll take Giants.
You don't seem to be liking any of your picks.
I don't. They're like they're toss-ups.
Sorry, just the Chiefs can't play the Browns every week for you. Steelers at the Jaguars.
Do we need to talk about that?
Pittsburgh favored by 5.5. Well, last
Hey, they're beating the
last
Browns.
I'm going Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
Broncos at the Chargers. Chargers favored by 7. I'm still going Chargers.
Yeah, I'm taking Chargers.
As am I. Chargers.
This might be the toughest one to pick yet. Raiders at the Cardinals. Cardinals favored by 4. I'm actually going Cardinals just because their defense is good.
Yeah, their defense actually understands the game of football, unlike the Raiders' whole roster. So I'm going to take the Cardinals.
I'm taking the Cardinals as well.
Then probably the best of the afternoon games: Eagles at the Saints.
Really?
The other ones are fucking Raiders, Cardinals.
You're saying relative.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, gotcha.
I guess maybe not. Steelers, Jaguars could be good. Broncos, Chargers could be good. Eagles, Saints isn't bad. I'm going Saints though.
Saints.
Yeah, Saints.
This might be the first week where all special primetime games are good games. Packers, Seahawks Thursday. Sunday night, Vikings at the Bears.
For the division?
We got flexed to that game.
And then we'll get to it, but Monday
Thank
night,
God.
Chiefs
Who
at the
was
Rams.
there?
I don't know whose spot they
Some
took.
dump?
Yeah, but I'm glad that we took it.
Yeah, I don't know who was there. And then Monday night, Chiefs at the Rams. So this might be the first week yet where all 3 games are games I'm actually interested in watching.
I could see you guys bumping Saints and Eagles. Because I feel like that would have been a matchup that you
Probably.
make prime time.
Probably.
And then they just switched them because, like the noise I
Could have
made,
been that
like,
or Steelers Jags because that's also an after.
Okay.
That's also a
I
game
could
that
see
was
that one
Sunday.
too.
So
Steelers is a big game.
then that was a playoff matchup
Yeah,
last year. They like to show those playoffs.
Yeah, I would get one.
So Vikings at the Bears. Bears favored by 3. Probably gonna be a bit chilly.
Yeah, but Minnesota's a cold weather team.
Yeah,
But they're also inside.
this one's tough. I'm gonna go Vikings
You asshole!
only because I picked them to win the fucking Super Bowl. So they gotta figure it out.
You did?
Yeah.
He did pick up to win the Super Bowl.
Who did they pick?
Who the fuck do you think?
Oh, okay, good.
I'm taking Bears. One, we're at home. Our defense is fucking phenomenal. Not to say that the Vikings isn't good or anything, but it's been more inconsistent than the Bears has. Mac is back. He's healthy. I think, that alone is, a pretty big decision maker. And the offense is starting to actually look somewhat decent. Trubisky's actually starting to throw the ball and actually looking like he knows where it's going to go and that type of thing. So I'm going to take the Bears.
Yeah, Trubisky, he's the one thing that's have a huge ass question mark. This definitely be if he can beat
Sounds like a bad
like
thing to pause. He has a huge ass. Question mark.
Whatever. If he can beat the Vikings, I might be all in on him. So jury's still out. But until he beats them, I'm the Vikings.
Fuck you both.
Well, maybe you'll get a win because that's what happened with Titans Patriots. You suck your team and you got to win. So Monday night, Chiefs at the Rams. Both teams 9-1
In LA.
in LA now, not in Mexico. This probably is the biggest game. Is the biggest game all year and probably will be. Potential Super Bowl matchup. Rams favored by 2.5. I don't know if that's been updated since the game got moved to LA.
I think actually we're bigger favorites, by 4.
So there you go. So 2.5. That probably has to do with a couple things. One, the way the Rams can control the game early. The Chiefs' run defense is not great. That's why the Cardinals are able to stay in it, because David Johnson kind of controlled the game for the Cardinals. And they saw if the Rams can take anything from what the Cardinals did, they have a chance. This one's tough. I'm going Rams. I think the Rams ultimately have the better defense, and I think both teams can basically score at will.
This one's tough. Because there's things I like about both teams that I think will sway it their way. Oh man. You know what? I'm taking Kansas City. Reason being is that I've said it time and time again that the Rams defense is inconsistent and shit outside of Donald. And I think you don't want to get into shootouts with the Chiefs. And I think if the Rams play another game where they're going to give up 30 plus, potentially 40 plus, the Chiefs are not the team you want to do that. Not to say that they can't score 30 or 40 on their own, because the Chiefs defense is equally as balls. I think the Rams have the offense to do it as well, but I think if you're going to play that type of game where you get in a shootout, the Chiefs will come out on top.
Yeah, well, I already gave mine away. I said Chiefs. As high as I am on Goff, I see in clutch scenarios, it's a 50-50 with him. He's not a Rodgers where he's more than likely going to get it. He's not somebody I'm confident with to ice a drug like this past game. Had the ball in 2 minutes. We couldn't do a damn thing to close it out. We had to punt it. Me personally, I think Mahomes is at a higher level than Goff. Chiefs, unfortunately. But what I will say,
there's a big but.
That was a question mark. It was not a but. It was not a but. What I will say though is even if we do lose the Chiefs, which I think we will, I think in the end that will benefit us more to have played the Saints and the Chiefs. Yes, because it's better to lose now before we see them in the postseason. Because I think between the Rams, Chiefs, and Saints, I think the Chiefs. Sure, nothing's a lock. You got Tom Brady and Belichick on the AFC, but I think the Chiefs still get it. I think they're the favorites to get the Super Bowl. And then I think it's between the Saints and the Rams. I think between those three teams, those are your 3 Super Bowl teams. The Chiefs being, again, not a guarantee, but I think they're going to take it in the AFC. So for us to have played both those teams, I think we can learn from it. I hope we can fix that fucking defense. And I think it'll benefit us in the long run.
You got to fix that defense.
Yeah, I agree.
That defense is just
the one thing I think that the Rams will have that no team the Chiefs have played yet will have is that the Rams have arguably the best 2 defensive tackles in the game on the same team. So the Rams will have the ability to stop the run, not necessarily blitzing or loading the box, because of Donald and Sue. Now so that forces the Chiefs to do outside runs, and it's going to be up to the Rams to stop that. But I think a lot of times the Chiefs, they do it very successfully, so it's credit to them. But a lot of teams have to put people in the box or blitz to stop the run on first or second down to stop punt because he's so good. And because of that, they do a lot of play action, and that's when Tyreek Hill catches 80-yard touchdown bombs. If the Rams have confidence in their defensive line, you don't have to blitz as often or have that many people in the box because Donald and Sue are tough to handle next to each other.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. I think Bill is right. It will help the Rams in the long run having played the Saints and the Chiefs. Don't count out the Patriots yet. They did beat the Chiefs. Obviously, it's looking like now they're going to have to go to Arrowhead because they're 2 games behind. I know we don't normally talk about fantasy this much, but if you're a Chiefs fan, so I guess not Chiefs fan. If you have Chiefs put on your team, you almost are rooting for them to lose at this point because the Patriots just lost again, so they're 2 games behind.
So you're saying you don't want them to start?
Correct, because if the Chiefs win and the Patriots are under the 3 games up, the Chiefs might sit their guys week 15, right when fantasy playoffs start. That would suck if we're playing fantasy football, but we'll see what happens. I did a quick look. So only 2 divisions are really up for grabs on the leader changing this week, and that's the Vikings-Bears. Winner of that game is basically going to be winning the division. And then the AFC South. If the Titans beat the Colts and the Texans lose to the Redskins, the Texans would be leading the division. Other than that, no matter what happens, the division leaders are going to stay the same after this week. Can't believe it's already week 11. That's ridiculous.
It's crazy.
So, but that being said, a lot of spots are still up for grab with a bunch of.
Actually, now
Time to
that
go,
the Rams
so.
are in a position to be in the postseason, it's not as depressing. Because in years past, I'm like, well, it's week 11. We're not going anywhere, so only 5 games left.
So you used to say that week 1.
The Rams is another one because I guess they're fighting with the Saints, right, for home field.
But now that's good. That's going to be tough now that they have a tiebreaker. I don't.
Yeah.
And what McVay opted to do last year was to sit their starters anyway, even with the possibility of having a first round bye.
Yeah.
He opted to sit them. I think he's like, okay, we already lost.
Well, that you,
I think
you
he's
put
gonna
so
sit
much work on
regardless.
Curly that any rest you can
But
get.
what he needs to do is he needs to at least lock up the
One
second
or
place.
two.
Yeah. If he can lock up second, I'm all for sitting him. If he can't, I do not want him to purposely throw it and get us in a wild card game. That's a real loss last year.
Well, technically you guys are in first because you haven't had a bye yet.
Right.
So
right.
victory one.
Technically,
After that, you've got a 2-game lead on essentially everyone else because you got Bears, Washington, Carolina, all at 6-3. So you probably are going to get at least
we still
one
have to
game.
play. We still have to play the Niners and the Cardinals. I'm not saying anything slam dunk.
Yeah.
There's 2.
But
Bears
if-
is a toss up.
But I mean, if the Bears still have to play the Vikings at least once, they play them twice,
We have to play them twice. We have to play them.
and they have to play the Packers again. So they've got say even if they just lose one, Washington's in there. That division, who's fucking knows what's going to happen? Carolina probably has to play the Saints at least one more time. So you're looking at where the Rams might have at least 2 weeks where they can sit their starters and have one of those top 2.
Well, I was worried about Carolina until this past game. Again, I know everyone said not to read too much into it.
Mr. Flippy Floppy over
But, no, I look.
That's what's well right into you.
I look.
Care about Carolina? They're crap.
I look. I watch. I learn. I learned. They're not as well as I thought. Simple as that. No flippy floppy. There is living and learning.
AKA Flippy Floppy.
Call it what you want. You live and you learn.
All right, finish this off, Dobie.
You
That's what she's
person who started it. You're the one who started it. You finish it.
So we finished. All right, well, this has been episode 11. Well, don't say wow, you get our name wrong every time. That's the number of the Coach Potatoes podcast. Start catching our thing flying around the room. So as usual, we'll get this up sometime this week before the games come out. We're going to keep talking. Obviously, we'll be here next week, but please like, comment, share. You guys haven't been doing that at all, so if you just start, that'd be great.
We don't either.
Yeah. We promise that we check it. We just don't necessarily always just do stuff on it. So if you tweet us or send us messages, we will reply to those. Or retweet and like Bill's tweets that he sends out on Sunday. That's his contribution to the podcast, besides just being here with his feet up on the table. So, alright, so we're going to get out of here. Next week is Thanksgiving week. We're still going to do one, right?
Yep.
Alright, so we'll still do one next week. And then, like we say every week, we're going to try to continue.
We're actually helping them mashed potatoes.
Yeah, God knows we're going to have enough.
Are you sure? You want to bring some too?
Alright, we're signing off. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.